Tushirikishe Jamii project is an initiative of Forum Seed in collaboration with Youth Alive Kenya and Muungano wa Wanavijiji, a federation of slum dwellers, to improve governance and community influence in constituency development affairs. Its aims are to increase the participation of low-income slum communities in constituency development funds decision-making and management processes.
The project was coming to address the question of apathy, community apathy in the management of devolved funds. We all know the high levels of corruption in this country, which is as a product of lack of community participation or inadequate community participation in the management of devolved funds. The Tushirikishe Jamii project was looking at addressing the question of CDF, how CDF is managed, and also looking at how citizens are involved in the identification and prioritization of community needs and projects that are to be implemented by CDF.
Targeting 20,000 direct participants and another 100,000 community members indirectly. The Tushirikishe Jamii project has in the past 2 years involved 30 ward-based youth, slum and civil society organizations in 6 constituencies in Kisumu and Nakuru counties. These are Kisumu Town East, Kisumu Town West, Nyando, Nakuru Town, Naivasha and Rongai.
We were looking for 2 things. One, areas that have a majority of youth population, both from rural and low-income areas. And secondly, areas that have multi-ethnic setup in terms of different communities that were involved heavily in the post-election violence.
Kwa sababu biashara mengi yaliharibika, makazi mengi, wengine walifungaga wakaendaga manyumbani kwao. Vijana sisi tulimbika kuharibika vitu zenyewe bila kujua kuwa tutazitaji baadaye. Wengine unakuta pia walikufa wakati huo kwa sababu walikuwa wajua wanakawia ni kabila gani, wewe ni kijana unakufa. So tulikuwa katika hatari mingi.
Since the introduction of Constituency Development Fund (CDF) by the government in 2003 to bring development closer to the people, the fund, like other devolved funds, have met various challenges, among them low level of commitment and activism at the community level and lack of awareness and corruption, which has almost made it lose its meaning.
Projects are within the society, but the community members are not aware of the projects that are identified.
Chuma kilioko mbele yenu ni chuma cha master ambao iliwekwa hapa. Ni mradi ulioanzishwa mwaka wa 2009 na CDF, na kama mnavyoona ni mradi uliokwama. Ofisi inajua mradi huu unaendelea na umekamilika. Huu mradi ulikuwa utufaidi kwa kutupea light usiku. Hakuna tofauti uliofanywa na shilingi 1675 zilipotelea hapa.
The community has always not been involved when it comes to decision making, and we felt that that was a mistake.
Hii kitu imejengwa na MP watatu. Ilianzwa na Miroge Kariuki. Akanunua kiwanja yenyewe 4 million. Ikarudi mtoto yake naye akatoa 3 million. Ikajenga mabati nusu. Ndeke Nyanjoi naye ametoa 4 million. Hii mradi imekwama.
Ni mradi ambao ulikuwa umepeanwa na CDF. Ambao ni soko ilikuwa ijengwe, ukaanza mnapouona ulianza lakini ukafika mahali ukafifia.
Inability to access information has been particularly damaging. First, constituents remain unable to monitor the committees and hold them accountable for expenditures.
Changamoto ambayo wanakumbana nayo ni ile kitu wanasema habari, information. Hawana information. Hiyo ndio changamoto kubwa sana. Wakianza kuleta mradi fulani hivi, wanasimamishwa na maybe viongozi. So hawana ile position, hawana information, hawajui mahali wanafaa kwenda.
Now this is the file.
Secondly, a lack of transparency in committees makes public participation difficult in the early and late stages of project planning and implementation and evaluation.
Matatizo yale tulikuwa nao ni chungu nzima. Kitu ya kwanza naweza sema ile matatizo tulikuwa nayo, hatukuwa tunajua CDF jinsi inatakiwa kulaniwa. Committee ya CDF hatukuwa tunajua jinsi inatakiwa kuselektiwa.
Members of the community were not aware completely of how the funds were being utilized, and on some isolated cases the funds were being misused.
There were some projects that we could only see them coming up, but if you ask by who or how, you are referred to a person that you cannot even approach.
The UN Habitat projection revealed that 11 million Kenyans are urban dwellers. 8 million people of the urban population live in slums, and 50% of them are the youth. The youth and slum inhabitants have been ignored and hardly take part in community initiatives. This has made realization of development goals difficult.
Hapa ndio ilikuwa the main center ya post-election violence. Na vijana walitumiwa tu sana kwa sababu wao wahusishwi kwa hii mambo, wako unemployed, unaona hawana voice kabisa. Na ni wale tunasema mifuko zao ziko down kabisa.
Before the rollout of Tushirikishe Jamii project, the community suffered many challenges. Among them, community apathy on devolved fund systems and structures, weak community-based monitoring evaluation and social audit, weak linkage between supply and the demand side, weak community-based civil society organizations.
Tulijua tu CDF. Kila kitu ikifanywa tulijua ni CDF. Na hata zaidi wengi walijua kama inafanywa, kama ni inafanywa na mbunge tunajua inatoka kwa mfuko yake. Hatukuwa tunajua zaidi.
To identify key CSOs, organizations and government institutions who will benefit from this report other than the ones we've identified.
Due to the challenges, Tushirikishe Jamii project initiated the involvement of the community in development processes, thus increasing the participation of targeted low-income slum communities in constituency development fund decision-making and management processes.
Through hapa, wameweza kujua mambo ya rights zao, kwa sababu kumeweza kuwa na training kama ya lobbying and advocacy. Vijana pia wameweza kujua jinsi ya kupigania haki zao. Kumeweza kuwa na mambo tunasema ile social audit, ya kuaudit miradi kama za jamii, zile za CDF. Unacheki. Sasa vijana pale wanapata nafasi pia kuhusika kabisa.
Tunashukuru sana, tunasema Mola akijalia miradi nyingine ikuje shirika kama hiyo ya TJ, Tushirikishe Jamii, miradi zingine zikiweza kujua kama 2 3. Maybe tutajua mengi kuliko, lakini kwa wale wamefanya kufikia saa hizi sisi tunasema ni hapo juu tuko mbele.
Tushirikishe Jamii project has actively engaged the community and government in dialogue on governance issues and development processes to identify community needs, views and opinions that influence their plans and initiatives as a community.
Ninaona kuna mabadiliko makubwa kwa sababu wananchi sasa wamejihusisha fully kwa sababu wamejua sasa haki zao. Lakini sasa kulingana na ile mikutano wamefanya na wakaonyeshwa kwamba hii si kama pesa ya CDF ni yao.
Whereas at the individual level, the project has achieved a change in attitudes and habits, making individuals to speak out and embrace integrity. Targeted groups have improved communication and understanding of their basic governance rights, culminating into improved relations and less conflicts at the national level. At the structural level, capacities have been enhanced, leading to public participation and improved accountability and democracy. The long-term effect of this Tushirikishe Jamii project is that communities have developed a culture of criticism and zero tolerance to bad governance at the cultural level.
Another one is the Kilo Katoro, this road. The last time that we discussed about the road, we were told that there was some 900,000 shillings was given out for the final phase of Maraming for the project to be handed over to the community. That has not been done.
In overall, Tushirikishe Jamii project will be contributing towards good governance in Kenya through increased citizenry participation. To achieve this overall objective, Tushirikishe Jamii project formulated programs to address gender needs in recognition of gender roles played and their influence on participation on development community processes.
Si kama wamama kuna umuhimu kwa sababu ninaona kama tukijiunga example kwa makundi Tushirikishe Jamii inakuja na hata inatuinua nasi tunakuwa tukijiendelesha.
Worked on comprehensive community lobbying approaches, networked and synergized with other actors to mainstream rights-based approaches in community needs, identification and prioritization. This was through identification of root causes of injustices, poverty, and empowered rights holders to claim their rights and enable duty bearers to meet their obligations.
Imetusaidia ni kwa sababu wakati huu mahali tulikuwa hapo beleni si vile tuko wakati huu. Kwa maana mimi kusimama mahali na kuuliza swali hata kama ni kwa mahali fulani tuko kama mkutano hivi siwezi kuwa na uoga ati kwa sababu sitauliza. Mbeleni singeuliza, singesimama niuliza kwa sababu nitafikiria maybe nitauliza nipelekwe ndani ama niambiwe mimi ni mtu wa siasa. Wakati huu nimejua haki yangu na haki ya wamama.
Umuhimu wa kufundisha ama kuelimisha jamii kuhusu pesa ama pesa ambazo zinatoka katika miradi kama CDF, hiyo ni kuwezesha hawa kuwa katika mambo ya maendeleo katika eneo lao, kuweza kubuni miradi yenye inawahusu wenyewe na kuhakikisha kwamba hizo miradi wanafuatilia mpaka zikamilike na waweze kulinda hizo miradi, kuhakikisha kwamba sustainability iko ya hiyo miradi.
Access to information of the funds has strengthened mechanisms to hold leaders accountable and made targeted communities participate in all processes, thereby realizing their rights.
Right now, niko involved kabisa, but before I wasn't involved. Siko najua ati mambo ya devolved funds. I knew only about CDF.
Gise from groups, magi tiyogo, giologo pesa, giloko godo, to gitimu other things. Kendo gidhi buche ka gin very well informed.
Tushirikishe Jamii has also strengthened the institutional capacity of partner organizations.
We have never had a project like this before, where we have implemented a project on the ground with 2 other partner organizations. And that has really helped us build a great network with Muungano and with Forum Sud.
Tushirikishe Jamii has been important to the federation, or rather to the constituencies that we work with, because for a long time Muungano has been operating at a horizontal level. That basically means they've been operating within their communities. But what Tushirikishe Jamii has done, it has been able to elevate the Muungano people and also the CSOs to be able to begin to engage vertically.
Even as Tushirikishe Jamii project is coming to an end, the solidarity linkages formed at the community, regional and national levels will continue to create a platform where communities can continue to participate in discussions on devolved funds with local leaders and officials, as well as monitor development initiatives and funds.
To us, what we think is that the CDF and other devolved funds in this country have ideally started setting the stage for the governance structures that we expect under the Constitution of Kenya 2010. The actions that are being implemented right now by Tushirikishe Jamii and other projects that are aimed at promoting good governance in the management of these funds, we anticipate that the experience that has been generated, the experience that has been obtained from supporting projects such as these will come in handy as the new devolved structures are set in place. The whole idea behind devolution or the devolved structures is to increase people's participation and ownership. And that is what Tushirikishe Jamii is about. Enhancing people's participation in the management of devolved funds, and especially the CDF. The expectation is that the lessons that they will have learned in the course of implementation, the experiences that the communities will have, in terms of engaging their leaders, will actually be replicated, will be duplicated as they strive towards holding the leaders of the new devolved structures into account as well.
Would you like to know more or participate in the project? For those living in Nakuru and Kisumu, you can visit the local resource centers or the partner offices for more information on Tushirikishe Jamii project. You can also join the Shirikishwa networks and become a champion for change at the community level.